As a young aspiring MMA athlete myself, I get this question all the time from family members, friends, etc. Basically, folks, what is the best body style, body type to have if you want to fight? For MMA, if you're in a cage with another man, locked in a cage, what is the best body type you can have? Is it a short, stocky, strong little individual that can push the pace, get in close, take you down, ragdoll you a little bit? Or is it a tall, lanky, athletic, strong, fast, twitchy, southpaw, this type of thing. And there's a massive spectrum of body types. You've got shorter guys or taller guys or skinnier guys, or you've got your guys that are kind of in the middle. They're strong but they're also athletic. And the truth is, there's no right answer to this question. It truly does just come down to how athletic is the person, how good is the person. At a base level, if you get a tall, skinny, lanky guy who's fast and quite athletic, they're going to almost every time be able to outwork the small, chubby, unathletic man who's also up for a fight, both with no training whatsoever. That would be my opinion, unless the strength difference is out the way. But I'm biased to myself. I'm skinny, I'm lanky, I cut a bit of weight, and I'm a taller guy from my weight division. I'm faster than other people. I'm taller, I use that to my advantage. I've got skinny legs, a strong upper body. It's just one of those things. And if you look at people like Sean O'Malley, Leon Edwards, John Jones, they're taller guys, skinnier guys, and they're kind of on top of the sport at the moment. But then you look at guys like Alexander Volkanovski, for example, a really heavy, dense little man. Now, things like that, right? You have a little man like that who's so heavy, a big fridge, a little block. He's so dense because he used to be so heavy. That just happens. I'm not particularly heavy. I'm 6 foot and I'm not massively heavy. I walk around maybe like 153 or something, 68, 69 kilos. I don't walk around like really heavy. And I'm really lanky, and I'm also stronger than I look. And I'm just blessed with that. That's just how God made me in a sense. But one thing that people seem to get confused on is skill level plays a massive part in it. And if you're taking away the top level athletes, what you can do being a skinnier, taller, rangier fighter is very, very good. And a lot more lucky in a sense, a lot more. It's easier to develop a skill set and a style being a taller fighter. You can just throw a jab out there. I was in Thailand, folks, if you didn't know. I made videos out in Thailand, and there was a guy there named Jan Leonard, right? He'd only been training a few weeks. He managed to have his first fight after about 3 weeks of training. He had it the same night as me on the same card out in Thailand, and he literally, when I'd spar him, I'd been training longer than him, but when I would spar him, he would jab me to fuck. Bear in mind, he was about 6'6" and about 20 kilos heavier than me, 40 pound heavier than me. But still, and I sat back, and I've always been the tall, rangy guy, and I said to myself, that is a fucking nightmare to deal with if you're a novice. If someone just knows, I'm going to keep you at range and just jab you, you will get hit a few times. It's a fight, but I would always say at the base level of fighting, being tall, being rangy, being athletic is massively beneficial for an MMA fighter. Especially when it comes to grips, being able to posture against the cage, spread your legs really wide. If you've got a really wide stance with long legs, it's very difficult to take you down. However, if you're a skinny guy, it's easier for someone to get their hands around you, around your hips, around your bum. It's easier for a guy to clasp their hands together if they're looking to take you down. On the flip side of that, it's also harder for a shorter guy to take you down when you're dancing and moving around them and keeping them at range. Depends again on your athleticism. How athletic are you? You could be tall and skinny but massively unathletic, no coordination, no natural ability in sports, and some short guy who's stocky, fast, like a Volkanovski, but obviously doesn't have to be that high of a level. I'm just using him for a casual example. It's crazy, and you get guys like Daniel Cormier who never have a reach advantage or never had one. But he was small, he was stocky, he was a very high-level wrestler, though. That's the thing, he grew up wrestling. He had that as his base, an Olympic level, a state level of wrestling. So it's just one of those things. If you guys want to sit back and dissect it, you can't really ever come down with a great answer. However, I would say that being skinny, tall, athletic, with a big broad base to learn MMA grappling, to learn MMA striking, is the best base for MMA. But it comes down to the individual. Are you special? Do you have that little thing that can't be taught? That little difference that other people don't have? That is what it comes down to. But body types, is an interesting one. Let's have a little look at the spectrum. You've got John Jones. He's been training MMA for 18 years plus. His body has built into an MMA frame. Skinny little calves, because you don't use those muscles per se. Strong thighs, wide shoulders, long arms. Doesn't look like the most built muscular man, however he's shredded. His physique is prime for fighting. Maybe back when he was in light heavyweight days. Maybe not nowadays. He looks a bit worse for wear now. He was doing shots a few nights ago in a nightclub. Anyway, you look at someone like Leon Edwards. Prime physique for MMA. Tall, lanky, little calves. Strong, dense shoulders. Athletic. Yes, very boring to watch, granted. And his fight against Bilal Muhammad will be a snooze fest, but that's not the point. Then you go down the spectrum, a Charles Oliveira perhaps. Long, wiry. Can generate power because he's got long muscle fibre to knock people like Gaethje down, to knock people like Poirier down, to submit people with his long legs. Maybe better and stronger and more powerful than maybe a Dustin Poirier, who's more of like a dense, smaller, like 5'9" man. I'm not saying Poirier is small by any means, but he's not as long and wiry, and he doesn't have that fight style that other people have. Maybe not as quick, just crisp, strong, one shot at a time. It's just one of those things. You have a Max Holloway who doesn't generate much power. And I've seen Max Holloway on the bag, by the way, folks. I think this is one of the reasons why he doesn't generate as much power as other individuals. He'd do 1-2 big shots, then just 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the bag. Little ones after that, just to get that volume. And that's his style. He breaks you down. He lands 5 shots at a time. And we're going to do a UFC 300 full breakdown very soon on the channel, folks, if you want to tune in and watch that. But the point I'm trying to make, folks, when you sit back and you're looking at how MMA evolved, obviously it started with the Gracies and stuff, the smaller guy that knows jiu-jitsu, and the sport's evolved. You can't get the same submissions anymore. If you're going for outlandish, crazy submissions, they're all very basic submissions you see now. For example, guillotines, rear naked chokes. But the sport's evolving to where it's such a high level now, it will come down to things like athleticism, body type, mindset, like the little things that just separates a good fighter from a phenomenal world champion. It's just, bear in mind, if you're looking at champions in the divisions, the number one contenders are just as good as them. There's just little things that separates them. For example, Colby Covington, I don't believe, is a massively terrible fighter for his last performance against Edwards. I just think it's the same thing that happened with Paulo Costa and Israel Adesanya. The stature difference, the length of Adesanya, the length of Edwards, the fact that they're willing to make a fight boring would completely eliminate Colby Covington's smother style, his pressure style. Same with Paulo Costa. It's so difficult to break that down. If someone's willing to make a fight boring to win, it's very difficult to get past them because they're not taking any risk. They're literally, all they're focused on is doing just enough to beat you, but they're not fighting you. And if you're fighting like that, being tall, lanky, not having to close distance is a massive advantage. It's huge. And that's what separates the highest level of MMA, in my opinion, folks. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. I don't think I am. And that's also why you see these fighters that get so famous. For example, the Sean O'Malley's, the Michael Venom Pages, the Ian Garys, even in a sense, the Israel Adesanyas, is because they don't get hit much. They can make a fight look flawless. And I think that's a big difference, and people don't understand that. That's why stars get born. Max Holloway became a superstar. Well, he's not a super. He became a big name in MMA because he would put the pressure on you and butcher you. Same with Tony Ferguson, but they're never like, oh wow, fuck, that's incredible. Obviously, Holloway's a bit different. He's an incredible fighter. But if you sit back and look at an Adesanya when he was coming up, a Holloway when he was coming up, oh wow, or an O'Malley even. Wow, this guy's barely getting touched. He's making it look easy, and this is not easy. That's what separates them from the rest, and I think that has to do a lot with body type. You see someone like a Topuria, though, however, shorter, stockier guy, fast whippy overhand, crisp boxing. I think Topuria will get found out. I actually would have O'Malley beating Topuria with head kicks and body kicks and just making it boring, as I said. I think Volkanovski is a very good stylistic matchup for Topuria, and I think Topuria will get found out. You know, if Jai Herbert is almost knocking you out, that's worrying, considering he's a vegan soy little man. However, Jai Herbert, long, lanky individual. Anyway, that's my opinion. I would suggest, I am biased. I'm not saying if you're smaller in 20 years' time in MMA, I think it'll be a lot of tall, lanky guys going at it. making things look a bit crisper, allowing things to be more boring. But then you've also got the wrestlers, guys, the Dagestanis, Umar Nurmagomedov, Islam, taller, broader, strong guys who cut a lot of weight and they can grab you. It's a big mix. It doesn't mean nothing, guys. It is what it is. I love the sport so much. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I love this argument. I love this conversation. And when I'm watching MMA with my friends, I'm like, guys, look, you have to look at it from the broader picture. If people don't let me put the mic down. This is what people don't understand. Boxing distance is this. MMA distance is this. That's the difference, and this is what these boxers don't understand. The distance is different, and obviously boxers can't just come over to MMA. It's vice versa. MMA guys can't just go over to boxing. It's a different distance. It's a different sport. I might make a separate video on that, saying I'm sick of these boxing guys. But anyway, thank you for watching, folks. Please subscribe. Have a great day. Toodle pip. I will see you later on.